Transmaxing is a transition for personal gain.
I don't want to spend 70 hours a week working.
Get a personal trainer and become a true man. Well, I don't want to do all those things. It was a cold and calculated decision.
Plus, you don't have to worry about like birth control or anything.
You've never worn a dress?
No.
And does your boyfriend know about the transmaxing?
This removes testosterone.
You should potentially change your just to get cheaper car insurance.
I'm Tina, a former who managed to escape inceldom by transmaxing. And this is an incel's guide to transmaxing. In this series, I'll tell you everything you need to know to stop being an incel and become a girl instead.
Hey guys, and welcome to Mika Reacts and Reviews, where I react to things on the internet, same day, same shirt, different video. And today we're going to talk about transmaxing. Have you heard of transmaxing? I recently found out what transmaxing was, but something that a lot of females, especially like lesbians, have been talking about recently, but they've been just called, you know, bigot and transphobic for talking about it.
Transmaxing is the act of transitioning to another gender in hope that it may help you to escape inceldom. Apparently incels are now transitioning to be a woman so they can get laid. Cannot make this up.
Transmaxing is basically what men will do, mostly incels will do, to, I think, better their lives or try to get the benefits they feel like women are getting, or try to basically higher their chances of sexual contact with females, and also get the benefit of men being attracted to them. I feel like your sexuality has to be a little bit fluid to do this, but maybe I'm wrong. So transmaxing is something that lesbians have been complaining about because there's a lot of biological men identifying as women and identifying as lesbians going into lesbian dating sites and trying to get laid. It's misogynist invading female spaces. Nothing new. It's actually quite normal in 2024, and it's allowed and actually celebrated by feminists, weirdly enough. And so lesbians are complaining about this, saying like, we're not attracted to penis, so get off our site. And then these biological men are basically crying bully tears, saying like, oh, they're being transphobic because they won't fuck me. Very extreme thing to do to try to ease, I guess, the hardship of your life, or whatever you feel like the hardship of your life is.
Tell me, what is transmaxing?
Transmaxing is a few things. It's a Discord group with, when I checked on it, about 1,300 members. It's probably grown significantly from then. It's also a manifesto, which is both very strange but also full of a lot of hard data. Most of it is about making people's lives better. It was started as something aimed towards incels. So maxing is, the communities of maxing as a whole is the idea of kind of making yourself better, either via, you know, surgery. Some include going to foreign countries and getting passports because supposedly women are more submissive in those countries. There's a multitude of different things, surgery maxing, and then in the darker ends of it, there's castrate maxing and there's transmaxing. So castrate maxing would be when one removes their sex drive entirely in order to no longer, you know, have sexual desires.
To summarize then, that transmaxing is an extreme kind of thing related to trans ideology, whereby incels, who for anyone who doesn't know, these are people who tend to believe that, you know, they can't get laid and they think the world's against them, or that it would be easier to just be a woman in that sense. And so they are transitioning into becoming either women or getting rid of their sex drive entirely, because that would make them do better in this kind of incel world. You
know, for men and women, this gender wars that's very exhausting and boring at this point, where women think all men have it so much easier because of the patriarchy and the way society is set up benefits men. And then a lot of men feel like, no, all women have it so much easier because the way society is set up is beneficial to women, not realizing there's pros and cons to being a male or a female. There is negatives to being a male and positive to being a male. There's negatives to being a female and positives to being a female. There's privilege in both, and there's downfalls in both. But everybody's trying to race to the finish line of the oppression Olympics, so nobody wants to acknowledge that. So these incels or these young men feel like if I just sort of transition into a girl, then I will gain all of these glorious, amazing benefits it is to be a female.
I'm entering the controversial world of transmaxing. What is transmaxing? Well, according to the Transmaxing Manifesto, it's when a man transitions to become a woman, not because they identify as a woman, but because they think life as a woman is just better, and they want all the apparent benefits of being a woman and operating in female spaces. The Transmaxing Manifesto walks men through all the positives of female life, such as cheaper car insurance.
I find it really fascinating. I honestly am like, this is 2024, guys. I think it's just different from, what is it called? Anagonophilia? I'm probably butchering that name, where a man is sexually aroused by the idea of dressing like a female or being perceived as female. That's a real thing. Nobody likes to talk about it, but there are some people who identify as a biological sex, presenting a different sex in public, that is forcing the public to participate in their kink, to participate in their fetish.
So there is a checklist apparently on this Reddit page that tells these so-called trans maxers exactly how transitioning is going to improve their lives. We're gonna go by this bit by bit. Number 0, I don't know what starts with number 0. Sexual excitement from having a feminine body. Okay, so this is what being an autogynephile is. I made a video a few months ago with my friend Jana, who is a trans woman. We explained the differences between the two identities or mental disorders, whatever you want to call them. I'll have that link below in the description for you. Number 1, the superiority of female aesthetics. Female aesthetics to me, again, sounds very much like autogynephilia, honestly. If this turns you on, like seeing yourself as a woman, like you wearing it and not someone else, that's autogynephilia.
Very weird world we live in. I don't like the one I just talked about, anagynephilia or anagynophile, but the transmaxi thing or transgender, I personally don't care. Like, if you're an adult and you want to transition for whatever reason, whether it is you truly feel like you are born in the wrong body or you want the benefits of the opposite gender, which a lot of reasons why a lot of teenage girls also, again, don't want to talk about it, but they transition because they might have some sexual trauma as a young girl. Unfortunately, a lot of young girls can relate to that, and so they transition into a boy because they think the benefit of being a boy is that they won't be oppressed or they won't be victimized anymore, that they'll get the benefits that they feel like all men have. So that's another reason why women or young girls, teenage girls will transition, because they want to get the benefits of being a boy. Also, when young girls start to first take testosterone, they do feel the benefits of it because testosterone gives you a happy effect. You're basically high, like it makes you feel less sad, more confident, more adventurous, stronger. Those effects at some point do plateau and sometimes really mess up the girl's psyche because that's not a hormone that's supposed to be pumped heavily into their body. In the beginning, when you have, when girls transition, they have trans euphoria because they're literally euphoric because they're being pumped with this new chemical of testosterone. Anywho, I personally don't necessarily care with why people are transitioning if you are an adult and you're transitioning. What I do care is when you have to drag everybody else into your transition, meaning trying to erase women, trying to get into female spaces, trying to get all the benefits of being a woman or other things that was meant for us to protect us from being female, trying to force people to use their pronouns, try to change laws and policies that affect everybody else, trying to force little girls to see your penis in shower rooms, like all these little things that drags the entire society into your transition. That's what I have a problem with. If you just want to transition and you want to blend into society and live a normal life, I don't actually care about that, even though I think it's bizarre and strange to transition simply because you want the benefits of being a woman or the benefits of being a male. Even though I can kind of understand that more when you have sexual trauma as a young girl, I can kind of understand the mindset of that, but I think it's a very extreme choice to make. I don't actually care. I just care that a lot of times it feels like everyone else is being dragged into it. You know what I mean? Gay rights made sense. Gay marriage made sense in a lot of ways because they're not bothering anybody. Like, you shouldn't care about who somebody loves or who someone else is sleeping with or who somebody wants to spend their life with. I know as Christians or religious people will say, well, eventually it really does affect society at large, but personally, you're not in the bed with them, leave them alone. The only time it might affect someone personally if you try to force someone to make a cake for you or force someone to do your marriage vows when it's against their religious beliefs. But for the most part, it made sense to just let them be with each other. When it comes to a lot of the gay activism stuff, it seems like they're wanting everybody else to be involved in their transition, and I think that's the problem that a lot of activism is having with the trans community. I think it's bizarre and weird to transmax. I don't get it. I kind of get it, but I don't get it. I'm not, up in arms about it, but don't tell lesbians and don't tell other people that they're making shit up and gaslight them. Well, lesbians are literally saying there are men on these apps who are trying to identify as women, but they're not. They're just trying to get laid.
Number 2, access to the transbian dating pool. Okay, now, pause. Now I know why you guys sent this to me. Now I know why you wanted me to talk about this, because this is just ridiculous. So you are telling me that you fetishize lesbians so much that you go on HRT to become trans or to become a woman instead of simply just dating a bisexual or a straight woman.
Anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comment section below. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to notifications when I do upload. Oh, that really does help with the algorithm, guys. If you'd like to support the channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal and Cash App link is in the comment section below, or you can super thanks, and you guys have an amazing, beautiful day. Bye.
I was only 5'8" and had a 2.7 inch erect penis. So what do you think of changing your sex because you have a 2.7 inch erect penis?
Transmaxing is a transition for personal gain.
I don't want to spend 70 hours a week working.
Get a personal trainer and become a true man.